I have come to a glamorous Tesco car park this morning to drive the future. It's a Volkswagen XL1 and a remarkable concept. They built 200 of these and the idea is that it can do over 300 miles to the gallon. That's the theory. As you can see, it's a very smooth shape. I think 0.18 is the CD figure in terms of aerodynamics. I mean, most production cars are high 20s at best, so that's utterly remarkable. Belongs to a friend of mine. It's been driven all the way from Germany this week, so it's done 5,000 kilometers this week, and he hasn't got near the claimed 300 mpg because frankly that's rubbish. In perfect conditions it will do that, but he has been getting as high as 130 mpg, which is not a bad figure, I don't think. So 100 mile to the gallon better than a certain Rover. That's pretty good, I'd say. Let's look at the business end, because it has engineering like no other vehicle I've ever driven. So that's the charger, which you can take out to save a bit of weight. And the engine is buried in there. It's an 800cc 2-cylinder diesel. It is effectively half of Volkswagen's 1.6 turbo diesel. Common rail unit, produces 40 brake horsepower, I think. And the electric motor is bolted onto the side of it. And that has 27, I think, or 27 PS. So it's a 75 PS total output in a car weighing 800 kilograms, about the same as a Daewoo is. But yeah, the doors are quite fancy. Butterfly style doors. That is the rear view mirror. It's actually a camera, and you can just see the mirror on the other side to show more of a view because that door's not pointing in the air. Alcantara trim, all quite funky, but I think the best thing to do is probably take this thing for a drive, don't you say? What is this remarkable hybrid actually like to drive? All right. We are underway. So we're just on electric power at the moment, so that's certainly very smooth. A single wiper to save weight. Oh, this is very strange. It's like driving around in a concept car. It's very strange having no rear view mirrors. I've only got reversing cameras. Electronic handbrake, of course. So the XL1 was built in 2013-14, I think. They only made 200, and I believe there are 26 in the UK, of which only 4 are on the road. Strange rattling noise from the back. That could well be the 2-cylinder engine, I guess. But the feel is very much of driving an electric car, and the attention this car is getting is quite something. It's very strange having these cameras. There is no rear view mirror because there is no rear window. A certain amount of tyre noise despite the skinny tyres. We're going to test this. We're going to go up into the Welsh Hills and see what it'll do. Can't get any useful information. There we go. The battery hasn't got a lot of charge in it at the moment, but we are running on electric power. I'd quite like to get an MPG if I could. Oh, consumptions in litres per kilometres. That's going to require some calculating. We'll see what that figure is when we get up to Devil's Bridge, which is where we're going to drive to. There we go. The engine has fired up now. But only briefly. It's now gone quiet again. There you go, that's just showing the engine's just kicked in again. I mean, to drive, it's not bad. The ride is definitely on the firm side. Thwarted by roadworks. There's a bit of regen going on briefly. It's definitely just about got a bit of twin cylinder clatter. It reminds me of a Fiat 500. It's hard to make it out though. It's very well insulated. Incidentally, I've got manual window winders down here, so I have to open the windows manually. They're flip out handles just like you get on the Triumph 1300. They're quite smart. I've got half a tank of fuel remaining. It's only a 10 litre fuel tank. Because the idea is, the electric motor means you can achieve great economy, so you don't need much of a diesel tank. But I think my mate has found that quite annoying, covering 5,000 kilometres. The claimed range is over 500 kilometres on one tank of fuel and a charge, but he's found it very difficult to actually charge it in the UK. You can't find anywhere you can actually plug it in. I mean, it's got a Continental plug. This is a German car. Presumably the ones they officially sold here, and I think they officially sold 20, were better set up for charging in the UK. And the engine's currently doing 2,000 revs. We're accelerating, and that hasn't really changed. But nonetheless, it appears to be the engine doing all the work at the moment. Really put my foot down. Yeah, if I put my foot down, we get the battery helping the engine, and now the engine's shut off because we're going downhill. Get a bit of regen. I'm looking forward to the drive back into town because that's going to be mostly downhill, and we'll see what state we can get the battery in. But yeah, the value of these vehicles is frankly terrifying. There's one of these for sale in the UK at the moment. The asking price is £130,000. That's quite alarming. But yeah, Volkswagen didn't want to produce anymore. I can't believe they made any money at all. It's just been an interesting side project for them, really. Bizarre. I would happily drive around in something like this. It's not very practical. There is no boot space whatsoever. It's like a Honda Insight, but even more focused. And the Honda Insight is a hybrid which can realistically achieve 70 mpg. So this is some way ahead of that. Even when the battery is completely out, my mate reckons it'll do high 90s mpg wise, which is just astonishing. Just goes to show what is actually possible. And this car wasn't a response to Volkswagen's emission controversies. They were already working on it. You know, maybe some of the technology has moved into their other cars. Who knows? So we're back in the 30 zone, and I'm back on battery power again. So it knows where the different strengths are. If you need to move at higher speeds, you need the engine to help. But we can cruise along on battery power, no problem at all. Dare I say it, I actually really like this. And it's fair to say I'm not really a hybrid fan. They don't really float my boat. I'm just looking at the transmission shifter. We have got an S for sport mode. We might have to give that a go in the next village, and we'll try and knock to 60. So now the speed limit's gone to 40. Will it stay if I'm gentle with the throttle on battery power? No. No, we need the engine. We're down to 1 bar of battery now, so we're getting a bit short of the old juice. In fact, the engine is now charging the battery as well. That's very like the Honda Insight. The Honda Insight, the original one, I've done a video test, you can check that out. That is not a plug-in hybrid, so it operates like this, where the engine puts some charge in as you're driving along. The idea being the electric motor really just assists you. The big difference here is you can drive in pure electric mode. You can't do that in the Honda Insight. Some friends of mine who are going, what the hell's that? And we're going to do a 0 to 60. Or a 0 to 100. Here we go. So we were using everything available there. We're now just on engine power and slightly uphill, to be fair, and that is 100 kilometers an hour, which is 62 miles an hour. So we're getting a bit of regen going back on again there. I mean, you're not going to set any records with acceleration like that, but I don't think that was too bad. The amount of noise is getting a bit irritating. There's a lot of tyre noise. It's spoiling what is otherwise, you know, an enjoyable experience. Oh, hello, what are they doing? That's exciting. Drop it back out of sport mode again, to be fair. The gearbox is a DSG unit, so that's Volkswagen's twin clutch setup, so yeah, quite advanced to have that and the electric motor as well. It's interesting that I'm driving more economically than I normally do. We're doing about 50 miles an hour at the moment on a 60 limit. I've slipped into EV mode where I try to be as smooth as possible just to maximise the range. I get quite addicted to it. Racing lines to maintain momentum. So the average fuel consumption is showing as 4.7 litres per 100 kilometres since the start of this journey. I shall do some sums and find out what that is. But hello Tuck, what do you make of this? Talk about worlds colliding. So I've just done some quick sums, and 4.7 litres per 100 kilometres is about 59 mpg, which isn't brilliant. I mean, you'd hope for slightly better with this powertrain, but that was uphill in the rain. And I wasn't really sparing the horses all that much. We were doing 50 at least for much of the way. We're gonna go back down into town now, and my challenge is to see how green we can be, so we'll see what we do on the trip back. But yeah, we're gonna have a guest appearance. What do you reckon of this then? Watch yourself getting in. Oh, thank you.
How do I get it down again?
You have to pull on that handle there. You're not run over by the butterfly doors. And notice we don't have mirrors, we have cameras.
I can't even work out where that's looking.
Well, it's tuck, isn't it?
There's no space.
No, there isn't. And there isn't a boot. The glove box is that little pot there.
And this seat's way behind yours.
Oh, it is.
It's weird.
I think that's so you get more shoulder room, so we're not right next to each other, bashing shoulders. Oh, shall we go?
I suppose.
Right.
Coat behind. A bit wet out there.
See, we've only got 2 bars of battery, so my challenge is to try and get that up.
You're trying to increase it with the regen, are you?
But there's the engine, now charging the battery. So I'm going to put it in S, which isn't sport mode. Apparently S is full regen. Handbrake off, wiper on, engine turns off, and away we go. That feels slightly wrong. You know what? I might just have to get a photo of Tuck in the mirror.
Go on then.
She's distorted quite a bit there. There we go, a distorted Tuck in the rear view mirror. Poor Tuck, she looks very distorted. There's the flip out door handles, window winders. They flip out like so you can wind a window. No electric
windows. Actual windy handles.
Surely that meets with your approval.
Yeah, that's okay, yeah. What does it like to use? Oh, I can't reach it though.
Ah, they didn't think that through,
far
did they?
back.
Rubbish. We have discovered another problem with the seat being this far back. Can you close your door, dear? Ah. Practical, this car isn't. Hey!
Got it!
Oh, brilliant. So, back down in Aberystwyth, we've got the average consumption down to 3.6 from 4.7. That's litres per 100 kilometres. I'll have to do the calculation to get back to you on what that actually means. But yeah, it's been quite enjoyable, I think. And not so enjoyable from the passenger seat.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Bit hard. Don't like the suspension.
Definitely on the firm side. The steering's lovely though. It's a very nice car to drive quickly. Which you want, because you want to be able to conserve your momentum going around bends. Just have a quick look at the info screen. No, not the info screen. Not that one either, that's the other one. Problem with these touch
screens. You don't want to be playing with the computer while you're driving.
No, especially not when there's an ambulance.
Do's and twos. Everybody's stopping.
Yeah, get past that truck. There we go. What were we after? The hybrid. Yeah, so we've got 2 bars of battery. That's what we've achieved on our way down. That's
Are you aiming
something.
Are you aiming to charge it fully?
I was hoping to get a bit more charge in it, but maybe it wasn't quite as downhill as I hoped. Plus, you're not doing regen all the way down, are you?
Evidently not. I was fascinated watching that screen. Oh look, engine back on again now.
Back on again.
All the
We can tell that to go away if I do that, I think.
Oh yeah, start the engine.
I don't think pressing the button did that, I think that's just because they eased off. But yeah, around town I reckon you could probably achieve 300 mpg if your battery's fully charged, but then that's not really economy, is it?
That's just using electric power instead of petrol. That doesn't count.
But certainly, of the hybrids I've driven, this is my favourite.
You always hated hybrids?
I always hated hybrids, yes.
So that's not a very high standard to better than all the other hybrids.
The main thing I like is EV only mode. It feels more like a range extender. Even though it isn't, it's probably more favourable in sort of the engine and battery helps out occasionally. But it is nice to just turn the engine off and still drive around like we are now. I think too many hybrids, the Lexus, is it CT200H? I can drive about 5 seconds on electric only power, whereas this, you feel like you can actually drive around a bit once you got that battery charge. I reckon I like it.
Good.
But not enough to pay £100,000 for it, sadly.
That's lucky because we don't have £100,000.
Indeed not. And now we'll demonstrate just how easy it is to get out of this car. There you go, easy peasy.
Sorry, I got slightly distracted by
I do like how the seats, when you ruffle them up a bit, now look filthy. Someone didn't plan that out too well, really.
That silk really wide to climb over.
It is. There you go, that's Mrs HubNut's practical assessment of the Volkswagen XL1. Not entirely convinced. So we're now at a standstill, but I can presumably speed up recharging of the battery by doing that. But quite how that works out for the environment, I'm not really sure. So that's foot flat to the floor, holds it at 2,500 RPM. And sounds pretty horrific. It's like I've started a cement mixer. Maybe I'll just turn it off. So there we go, that was the Volkswagen XL1. I actually quite liked it. I thought it was quite interesting to drive. I admired the technology, even if we've fallen some way short of the claimed 300 mpg. It's an interesting concept, and it's made me change my thinking on hybrids. I like it a lot more than I expected to. But there you go, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I shall see you in a future video. Farewell.